Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships in our Friday edition video. And as Chef Guy says in chat, and the title of this video today is this heaven? He's quickly pointed out there's no CV, there's no submarine. I mean, there's only one DD. I mean, more DDs would be for one DD on our team, two DDs on their team. And there's even no hybrid battleships or cruisers. There's not even a Dutch ship with the HE airstrike. So, wow. So is this heaven? So, with that being said, know that this battle future of Napoli is going to be with those things in mind. So I'm not going to be talking about how do you deal with CVs, how do you deal with submarines, that type of nature. I'm going to be focusing on the battle replay. There's going to be things happening really fast. So I'm just going to say a few short things about the Napoli, and I'll talk more in depth about tomorrow during the upgrade commander build video. The gun range we have is 16.3 kilometers. These are 254 millimeter guns. There are 9 of them total. Our torp range is 13.5 kilometers. We have 2x4, 4 torps on each side. Our secondary range is 9.2 kilometers, while our concealment is 10.3. I like the stealth build with Napoli. And then our depth charge airstrike is 8 kilometers away. So starting off on here at the flank, one of the things that Napoli is, she's a brawling cruiser, mid-range brawling cruiser. So playing around that 10.3 kilometer concealment. So I want to get in close here and see what we end up spotting, such as this Annapolis, who decided to open up a bit early. And yeah, we just took 15,000 of his health with 2 black ribbons. This is actually quite fun to do. So one of the strengths of the Napoli is we're going to get spotted by our gun smoke fire penalty. That is due to a destroyer lurking around. I think our smoke fire penalty is 9. Actually, I don't remember. I'll have to see if I can figure that one out. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll probably pull it up on the screen here during the battle to look at, so I'll see if I catch it in time or not. But she has the exhaust smoke generator, so that you can do things just like this. You can go full speed. Here I'm waiting to open up until I get disengaged. In case the destroyer has stuck himself back out and would spot me, because I don't want it to be making that broadside turn, exposing our broadside to GK in Annapolis as we smack him again for 8k. And then we're just going to disengage. Now very quickly, if we look at our mini-map, as I'm just going to kill the throttle here to juke the Ohio salvo until we go dark. There's an enemy Napoli moving up into Bravo, and there's going to be a window of firing opportunity here if he decides to go through the gap in F5. So he just caught my attention, so now I'm looking over here. Because him moving up into this mid position makes him a very easy target for us to focus out. Yugamo is reversing onto the cap. Our secondaries caught a brief glimpse of him. We do get a shot with our rear main turrets. And one of the things that you can easily do with Napoli is that you're going to see me regularly using my torpedoes. I'm tracking to see which direction he's going. Is he going to keep going north up the 5 line, or is he actually going to move in over here? So we pick up the Yugamo again, get some more SAP secondaries. That's the secondaries of the Napoli, so they can chew up some ships in the game quite well. So here we're just chilling out. We're letting the Napoli come forward. We're trying to see if he's actually going to push out or is he just going to sit in. So we're being mindful that we're showing we got an island off to our right. But it could be a little dangerous if we took a shot right now. One is I'm broadside to Napoli if he decides to shoot me. So I decide, let's go ahead and turn out away from his enemy teammates. The GK pushing up himself. Our secondaries can open up. His smoke has ended, so now we're going to take this shot. We've been waiting for him to go broadside. Only 5k. Maybe we could have waited slightly longer for him to turn out a bit more. Our torpedo lands a hit. We cause flooding, and he goes down to the Bourgogne fire. In the meantime, the enemy Ohio has taken out our Yugamo, so that sucks. So now it's just one destroyer remaining on the enemy team. Here we're going to kill the throttle again because Napoli, I don't know if he used the funny button there, but he didn't like the early citadels. So we're going to be seeing him multiple times throughout our battle here. So now we have tanked 600,000 damage. We've traded health really well. We've done 58,000 damage and even 4,000 spotting damage, which is rather ironic. So we get to utilize the island between us and the GK, and we instantly get to go dark. We are using Luigi Sansonetti, as you may have noticed, the red shell tracers. So we'll talk more about that on him with Napoli tomorrow, as our Bourgogne takes out the Izumo to fire. So lot of the French setting a lot of fires. I don't know what accent that was. Ignore me. So we're going to move up here really quickly to support our Bourgogne. The Yugamo is fighting for the cap. Honestly, the Yugamo is making a mistake because there's so many of us on this flank. As you can see, we've lost the opposite flank, so we need to push through. But I'm telling this Bourgogne, let's push through A, but I'm going to help you, Bourgogne, with the Yugamo. I need to step up here in being the cruiser to try to help out the Bourgogne, which he acknowledges is great, just communicating that I am going to push up because he's low on health. I've got plenty of health at this point. One thing that's also decently nice about the Napoli is her rudder shift time. So this one torpedo is going to miss just the side of him, and so we're going to be using that rudder shift to essentially throw the ship off to the right. And oof, so close. Now we have to correct it so we don't just ram the island, and also we have an ally pushing up on our left. I can't tell who it is. So the Bourgogne opens up. We need to get a little bit out past the Bourgogne and take the shot. So take the shot, and then the Iowa, yes, it was the Iowa who pushed it up with us, takes him out. But unfortunately, the Yugamo did set a fire on their Bourgogne, so we're going to lose him to that as he uses DCP, I think, on the Flood. Now, when we move up here, we've lost the Bourgogne, so we have 28 seconds to cap. I'm going to use my exhaust smoke generator, and I'm going to ask in chat for the Iowa to not open up with his gunfire smoke penalty. So I'll use planes. We get to spot, see what's going on. I could take a shot at the GK, I think. I have to check the gunfire smoke penalty on Napoli again. I'm spacing that hardcore right now. So I think he used the island, maybe, to stay dark there. I have to look. No, he saw him. So he waited long enough at least to us flip the cap and then move out here. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. We have a thunderstorm front, which is going to help concealment a bit. We're going to go ahead and fire off those 13.5 kilometer torpedoes. Our team is responding to the pressure coming from the sea cap, so that's great to see. So then we are just going to take our time in making sure we were pushing them away from this flank. The Ohio, you see, on the eye line has gone really wide. So that's something we're going to have to be mindful of and not overextending ourselves as the GK picks us up with spotter plane, but also 10.3 concealment. So was kind of chilling there. The one critique I'm going to have on myself here is that I kind of take my time before I actually come into the secondary range of the GK for the secondary range on Napoli being 9.2 kilometers. I'm a little conscious to not push up too far because I don't want to present the Ohio with too much of a side, but I can just simply nose in here towards Ohio and kind of have my bow pointed between the GK and the Ohio and be okay. So now we're only getting use of our secondaries, so I would have liked to have gotten my secondaries off a little bit sooner here if I'm going to be caught out in this brawling engagement while my exhaust smoke generator is on cooldown. So we're going to keep using the armor piercing here. So we're getting decent damage, but not as much as I feel I should be able to get with these 254mm guns. But we're going to use the DCP, put out the double fire, and we're going to get the island between us and the GK. And as soon as we do, we're going to go dark. And then I'm going to disengage and move to the left here. And I'm going to be doing some cool stuff here in the Bravo cap. Also, it gives us our cooldown on our repair party, some time to come back, 41 seconds. One of the things I really like to do, you'll see, I've already done it twice, with that exhaust smoke generator, is using the fighter plane, because you don't get spotting plane with Napoli, but you get the fighters, and I use the fighters as giving me reconnaissance. So I'm going to be doing that regularly. throughout this battle. And that's very helpful with the Napoli in general. Just try and see what's immediately around me. I think sometimes you even see Venezia players do that as well, as an example, if they don't take the spotting plane. So with the torpedoes, yeah, 13,900 damage, but they're not particularly fast, and they're not super hard hitting. I mean, they do decent damage. So if you do a torpedo drive-by on an enemy ship, you know, a battleship, let's say it's the Ohio or the Montana, you do need to be mindful of their torpedo belt protection and how much it's going to reduce the damage they take. So it's kind of like you have to be mindful of, okay, if I go and yellow this battleship, as an example, will I kill him with my 4 torpedoes or not if I land all 4? Enemy team has 5 ships remaining. We have what looks like to be 7. So I'm going to move up here into Bravo in flipping here, and I was like, do I want to go in the channel? But the channel doesn't have a lot of space to maneuver around. I'm trying to figure out, okay, is Montana going to go left, or is he going to come down the channel? Ohio seems to be very committed in coming down the channel, so I'm going to just dump those torps right on line. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn out at a kiting angle. So my secondaries will be able to do some work as the Annapolis is lighting us with his radar right now. So that gives me some information that he's kind of come back forward, and you see some secondary shells coming from the direction where I think he's at. So I'll go ahead and use the spotter plane again. I want to see if I can pick up where that Annapolis might be. So Ohio comes out, eats 2 torpedoes, and we get 2 citadels. So we've clapped him quite well. Now I'm going to move up a little bit more here, prepare for the Montana coming in. But I'm still curious to see, maybe there's a cruiser over there we can get shots on, and there's Annapolis. So he's broadside to us again. He hasn't learned his lesson. I think I'm not sure if our plane is the one to pick him up there, but we get another black ribbon, and this is looking good, and he's dead. So just like that, 148,000 damage, and we're waiting to see what the Montana is going to do. Is he going to actually come into the channel, into the cap, or is he simply going to move south down through the channel further? So we're going to use the C key, switch between our gun turrets, see what's going on here. Our torpedoes actually aren't too far from coming off of cooldown, so perhaps we can get some use from those in again. But he's accelerating, and I'm like, well, maybe hang on to them a little bit longer. And since he's broadside to us, our sap shells start working in on him as we take the shot there. And we get the consumable action time extended and Confederate, so we plus 10% on the action time of our consumables. And with Confederate, we just got a negative 8% on our reload time. So I think it's negative 8%. So 15 seconds standard reload time when we're taking the reload into slot 6. And then for with Adrenaline Rush, and then also our reload time that you're going to see here, the guns are going to be reloading quite quickly, so it makes it really nice with these 254mm guns. We pop our smoke. We're helping out our Hindenburg player, help him live a little bit longer here. See if we can't flip the cap, but he's going to leave it, unfortunately. So that kind of sucks. So it's going to be even longer before we get this cap, as we've been sitting in it for some time now. But we can fire on this Ohio. Our smoke is easily keeping us concealed. It looks like our reload time is 11 or 12 seconds. Let's go ahead and dump off a rack of torpedoes there. I'll pay attention to the reload time this time around. Now Ohio's put himself behind an island, so we're just waiting here. We're just chilling, taking our time. So 3 seconds away from capping, and we got it. So let's see, reload time. Yeah, 12 something, probably low 12.1 or something. So the Hindenburg and Montana have come out. They're both kiting away, so I mean, it kind of makes sense. Maybe they don't want to just necessarily push into the cap. But we get slapped immensely through the butt, through the stern by the Montana. So you have to be mindful of that. So that was a very valuable lesson for me, that he targeted it quite well. I mean, we ate a lot of penetration damage there. So for myself, now I'm like, I want to live. I want to do more damage. So we're just going to move outside of my concealment. So I'll be dark. And we're going to get 2 torpedo hits here. So one there on the Hindenburg, and we looks like we're gonna get the Battle of the Montana. We caused flooding on the Montana to an 8,000 damage, and we're about to go behind an island, so we're gonna be cheeky and pop a shot. We're gonna raise a little bit higher, trying to get more of that part of the bottom superstructure, upper belt. Yeah, so almost 8K. And we're gonna go ahead and use our next heal. One of the things I wasn't so sure about here is probably I should have stuck with my gut and just gone back left and supporting the St. Vincent through this channel gap here on the left. But I didn't feel so sure about it, so then I just end up moving down the 4 line to get around the islands. So I had done the first impressions video on Napoli, and I liked Napoli. Now with this, matchmaking has been very favorable. I had a randoms battle before this with the submarine. I did kill the submarine, but he was making life miserable. So it's amazing how you can have players in the chat start the battle like, no CVs, especially no submarines. Wow, like, is this heaven? Like, someone pinched me, right? So when players rejoice that you don't have these certain ship classes in the game, like, that's crazy. I've never seen a player be like, yay, submarines, yay, CVs. So, you know, wargaming pretty OP with listening to the community there on that. So, so this game has been a very good game, and this really helped me feel comfortable with Napoli, because I kind of envisioned playing her this way, just when you're looking at the ship as a whole. So we're going to test out our high explosive now. So I was very pleased with this battle, because, you know, not having to deal with all the gimmicks that Wargaming's putting in the game. I mean, yes, there's some super ships, but it really wasn't that big of a deal, and Annapolis player didn't seem to know too much what he was doing. So 2.3 million potential damage. So we've definitely utilized the tankiness that Napoli embodies. So we're going to have Confederate and high caliber, 217,000 damage. You can see pretty good earnings with 840,000 credits. 2 destroyed, 6 citadels, solo caps, assisted caps, and defended ribbons. Almost 100 secondary hits with the 5 torpedoes. Going to team score, we're going to top the team with 2,447 base experience. Our Preußen did pretty good, our St. Vincent did pretty good. So it was just a nice battle. It didn't go really fast, you know. Especially it was kind of fun not having so many destroyers around either. So our secondary damage was 28,000. Torpedoes 51,000. The main battery 135,000. Floodings did 1,300. And we took 79,000 damage in total. And again, 2.3 million potential damage. And this is what it looks like with premium count and how the battle ended. So all in all, I have quite enjoyed the Napoli. And I should have said this at the beginning of the video. You guys are so good at voting on the polls on my YouTube community tab and tying them constantly. So for the 4th time, I had to have Mrs. Flimsy break the tie. And so I let her choose between the Santander and then Napoli. And I figured she'd go with Napoli because she likes Italy. And so she did. So we have some Santander footage, if I'm pronouncing the ship right. I'll feature next Friday, Saturday. And then I'll try to remember to come back with the poll again. So thank you for voting. I like doing those polls. I'm sorry that it had been like 2 months since I'd done one of those polls. That's pretty bad of me. But we were grinding and trying to get through a lot of ships and moving commanders up. So I think that's kind of the reason why I didn't think of doing it. So if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And maybe later today, if not tomorrow, I'll be doing some Twitch streaming. We'll probably do some ranked stuff. So it just depends. So until next time, take care.